So, Shirley boy, let's say I go out and I set up a trust. Talk to us about the importance of why do I need an independent trustee?
Okay, so if you recall a couple of years back, most people actually set up what you call family business trust,
Yeah,
which is any normal sort of a trust that is actually going to be investing with third parties, right? So before that, the independent trust was not actually requirements, but there was a directive around 2014, which the Master of High Court actually issued to say all the family business trust actually needs to have independent trust. And this was coming from sort of a historical cases where they found that actually families upon the death of the founders of these trusts tend to fight for this wealth of
yeah.
these families, and also the trust tend to not to be administered efficiently and according to the legal frameworks like Trust Property Control Act of this world, right? So in order to minimize that, the Master of High Court actually issued that directive to say all the family business trust needs to have an independent trustee. And this is where the likes of us who actually professionally offer that kind of a service of independent trustee. So our role actually as independent trustees is to ensure that the compliance and also of the compliance is actually adhered to by these trustees and the beneficiaries, and the trust is actually also compliant with the relevant regulatory frameworks like Trust Property Control Acts.
Absolutely. And obviously, Shirley boy, there's a fee that you're going to pay for this independent trustee. What's all included in that fee?
Look, like I said, the role you're actually paying for the services, the professional service of these particular independent trustees. So they will be assisting with actually drafting the resolutions of any form of transactions that happens within the trust, and ensuring that also the trust complies with SARS regulations, tax returns are also submitted, ensuring that the assets and register as required by Trust Property Control Act is actually also prepared by so-called appointed accountant of that particular trust. So you will typically actually be paying those independent trustees to assist you in making sure that the administration of the trust is actually done according to the law.
100%. And then, Shirley boy, in the event that I go set up a trust at a company, but I haven't done anything, so it's dormant,
Mhm.
do I still need to pay that independent trustee?
I think maybe let's even look at how the fees actually are regulated. The fees are governed by a trustee. So it's also crucial to have a discussion during that phase with your independent trustees to
Yeah.
say, I'm at this phase, right? And then be guided by the trustee. What does the trustee say when it comes to the fees of independent trustee? In most cases, as much as you might classify your trust as being dormant,
Yeah.
right? It's typically not really dormant efficient, because if you look at the legislations from a SARS point of view, any form of entity, trust, company, as considered to be professional taxpayer, they still need to submit tax returns even though they are not trading. So the trustees are still have element of legal responsibilities actually to provide services. So you might not actually be generating an income through the trust, but the reality is that these independent trustees still needs to provide a service. So
Yes.
you might have to look into how to efficiently actually capitalize these trust to ensure that these independent trustees also are able to execute their responsibilities as independent trustees. So that's why also when we are doing structuring, when we are advising the property investors or the wealth creators, we always encourage them to say the timing also of creating these trusts are actually key, because you don't want to create a trust where you're going to have to wait for 2 years to actually before you even generate the income. That might not actually be plausible to actually consider that. So the timing is crucial, but also the discussion with your independent trustee is also crucial to say at what point do you charge so much fee, because the fees also will be warranted or dependent on the values of the trust, and the more the trust makes money, the more the fees will obviously increase based on the responsibilities.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much.